The conversation about intimacy often revolves around a silent, gaping hole, the misunderstanding of female pleasure. It's a gap not of biology but of awareness, education, and empathy. A doctor's recollection of a 70-year-old client brings this reality into sharp focus, offering a profound lesson on connection that many learn too late or never learn at all. A revelation at 70, the story begins with an elderly man's confession. After nearly a lifetime of marriage, he had only just come to understand the basic anatomical and sensual distinctions of the female body. "I never knew the difference between the clitoris and the vagina," he admitted. "I never understood where pleasure comes from for a woman." His words carried a heavy tone of regret, not for himself alone, but for the shared experience he and his wife had missed. He wondered aloud how different their married life might have been with this knowledge. His plea to the doctor was simple: "Please explain this to people. Don't let them wait until they're 70. This man's late epiphany underscores a pervasive issue: the systemic lack of education about female sexuality. For many men, female pleasure is an abstract concept, not a tangible, understandable reality. The primary organ for female pleasure, the clitoris, is often relegated to a footnote, while intercourse is centered as the main event. This fundamental misunderstanding sets the stage for a lifetime of disconnected intimacy. Beyond the bedroom, foreplay is an all-day affair. One of the most critical insights shared is that intimacy cannot be compartmentalized into a few nighttime minutes. The doctor emphatically states, "A woman's readiness doesn't just appear at night." True arousal for many women is not a switch to be flipped. It is a state that is cultivated. This cultivation happens through what can be called all-day foreplay. It is the texture of daily interaction, a supportive text message, a kind word after a long day, sharing a laugh, or simply showing appreciation for her efforts. When a woman feels seen, valued, and emotionally connected throughout the day, she naturally arrives at physical intimacy from a place of openness and desire. In contrast, if she is mentally drained from managing household stresses, work, or emotional labor, and then met with sudden physical expectation, the disconnect is inevitable. Intimacy, therefore, begins long before the bedroom. It is woven into the fabric of respect and daily care, the map of pleasure, exploration, not assumption. Another common pitfall is the assumption that all women are the same. Men often rely on stereotypes or anecdotes from peers, applying a one-size-fits-all approach. The doctor counters this by highlighting the necessity of curious exploration. "You need to touch every single part of your partner to discover her unique trigger points," she advises. Every woman's body is a different map of sensitivity. What brings intense pleasure to one might be neutral to another. This journey of discovery requires patience, communication, and a departure from goal-oriented focus. It involves asking, observing, and learning whether she finds pleasure in a kiss on the nape of her neck, a gentle touch on her back, or words of affirmation. This process does more than enhance physical pleasure. It communicates a powerful message: "I am interested in you and your unique experience." The strength of softness. The narrative also dispels a dangerous myth that women desire roughness or painful stimulation as portrayed in some media. The doctor is clear: women dislike harsh grabbing or pinching. She prefers softness. True intimacy is founded on tenderness, not force. Creating an environment of gentle, responsive touch builds trust, which is the true bedrock of mutual pleasure. Prioritizing softness and consent ensures that intimacy is a shared sanctuary, not a performative act. Redefining masculinity, the architect of happiness. Perhaps the most transformative part of the discussion is the redefinition of masculinity. The doctor moves the concept away from traditional markers like stoicism, earning power, or sexual conquest. Instead, she defines a real man in a relationship as one who understands how to foster his partner, his holistic well-being. This modern masculinity is built on respect, protection, and attentive care. It is the confidence to prioritize her comfort, safeguard her dignity, and actively share the emotional and mental load. It finds pride not in domination, but in the profound achievement of being a reliable source of her happiness and security. This is the man who builds a connection so strong that it becomes the foundation of the relationship, a reciprocal paradise. The lesson culminates in a vision of beautiful reciprocity. The doctor notes the innate nurturing quality in many women, stating, "If you give her one thing, genuine love and respect, she multiplies it manifold." A woman who feels truly cherished, understood, and pleasured doesn't just reciprocate. She invests deeply. She brings her loyalty, her care, and her energy into building a shared life. In such a dynamic, the home transforms into a paradise, not a static heaven, but a living, growing space of mutual fulfillment. The 70-year-old client's lesson is, therefore, far more than an anatomy lesson. It is a metaphor for the entire unseen emotional and physical landscape of a woman's experience. To navigate this landscape with humility, patience, and love is to move from coexistence to deep connection. It is the journey from ignorance to intimacy, transforming shared years into a truly shared life. The path to bridging the pleasure gap is Ultimately, the path to building a love that lasts and satisfies a lifetime.